good evening, Praveen. It's nice to have you back on the VNN discussion series. And today, I think we should talk about the Prime Minister's the breach of Indian Prime Minister Modi's breach, security breach.
Thank you, Bala. We are back once again in the new year, and you after your vacation in Portugal. Welcome.
That is right. Yeah.
Full time over there.
Yeah.
Yes, this is a very hot topic at the moment about the breach of Prime Minister's security.
Yeah.
And yes, one has to see as to why it happened, how it happened, and who are responsible for it.
Yeah, I mean, this is it's been happening to the Prime Minister of India in such a, and he was blockaded by a group of people using tractors on a flyover for 20 minutes. That's not acceptable. You know? There can be a grenade attack, a missile attack. Yeah.
I would say that any lapse of security and gathering of people for any VVIP visit is the greatest lapse of duties by various people involved, because it's a very laid down procedure, and security is planned quite a time before. We have handled security of PM coming abroad, which is handled months before, but I'm sure in India it would not be months before, it would be a week before, 10 days before. And there's a complete liaison between the SPG and the state police team. There's an advance team, and there's a recce, and everything is taken care of. And the responsibility of security in terms of the proximity is that immediate security is for the SPG, and the terrain and the route is for the state police.
I mean, when you are in the diplomatic service, you must have had a lot of these experience. People coming from India, or VIPs coming, and you have to coordinate for security for them also.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to tell you, that there is a laid down procedure. An advanced security liaison team comes.
Okay.
And they liaise with the local security authorities, and a person is designated over there as the local security chief. And SPG coordinates everything with them regarding the route, alternative route, and then everything is finalized between the two security agencies, and the embassy sort of liaises for them. A similar system would be followed when VVIP or a foreign dignitary travels to India. Then their security team would be again liaising with the SPG, and then the basic input is done by the state police, because the state police is the person on the field. The DG police is the person who commands the force, and they have to take care of the security of the route or the aircraft. Now, once the Prime Minister or the VVIP is traveling by air, the complications are very less. But the moment it becomes the motorcade, then it becomes a bit complicated, because one has to sanitize the entire route and see that there are no problems in between. And the crucial thing in this procedure is that Prime Minister will not move till SPG gets a clearance from the DG police or the head of the police of the State Department or the foreign country or whatever it is.
But here now there are allegations saying that the superintendent of police or somebody high up, they informed the protesters that the motorcade is going to come that way, and the farmers, one of the farmers, I don't know if he's a farmer, but he says within an hour we mobilized all these tractors. So they knew in advance. That is a big issue, isn't it?
That's the politics part of it. The politics part is a bit different, where one looks into what the different political parties are trying to say and people in between are trying to gain advantage. Now, when this person was told that PM is coming through this way, the guy has, we see on the television, he says that he was surprised that they're fooling us. Because Prime Minister was to go by air.
Right.
Now, unfortunately, Prime Minister had to cancel by air because
the weather was bad.
And both Punjab police and SPG have been alerted by the weather department, whatever the department is, that there are chances of rain. So therefore, the alternative route was already planned.
Right.
And they waited for SPG's clearance, state police clearance to leave. These things are very clearly laid down step by step in a rule book which is called the Blue Book. And what you have to do is simply follow it.
Just follow that, yeah.
There was something which has gone wrong, and hopefully we get to the perpetrator and he is punished adequately.
Right.
This is something which does not happen. It is a rare event, and it should not happen anytime in future because we are living in a federal system. And the Prime Minister might be of a different party, and state government will be a different party. It will happen many times in future also. And if this system, if this is not taken care of this time,
Yeah.
this thing will have a great problem within the system.
Because it can happen to any leader, any party.
Anybody.
Yeah.
Somebody else is Prime Minister, somebody from Congress is Prime Minister, and the state government is BJP. We will see, oh, those fellows are done with our Prime Minister, we do the same thing for embarrassing him. This is not done. God save us if they do it when the VVIP from foreign countries, then we'll have a blackface all over the world. So this is one, and I'm very happy that Supreme Court has taken a very sort of proactive step, and they've said all the discussions and all the procedures which are followed should be sort of put it into a High Court records, so that there is no tampering, and they are suo moto taking, no, not suo moto, people have already gone into
the file appeal, yeah.
And at least we hope a very impartial investigation by the Supreme Court, because what Punjab police is doing is a farce. As you say, they have lodged an FIR in which the maximum punishment is 200 rupees or something like that.
That, for blocking the road. That's it.
On the road or something. The PM is not mentioned even. It's a sham. Now, again, as I told you, I would rather concentrate on the security lapse and what happened and what should not happen. It's something which the police authorities, if whether the police was under pressure, who was under pressure,
or some individuals in the police force. We don't know about that too.
And politicizing after that is horrendous.
Yeah,
I was ashamed to see what Sidhu was saying.
I know. This is a drama. That's not acceptable at all.
And this saying that the Prime Minister was never under threat is no excuse.
That is not an excuse. The roads were blocked.
The Prime Minister has to be secure. It is there. We have lost two Prime Ministers, and both the Prime Minister we lost because the Prime Ministers themselves
they violated the rules. Yeah.
They did not abide by the advice given by the security agencies, both Rajiv Gandhi and Indira Gandhi, and Congress knows about it. Everybody knows about it, that security agencies had alerted them about the threats in both the cases, but they refused. But therefore, security is something prime. Politics is after that. You can do whatever politics is after that, but then let us at least wait for the Supreme Court decision as to what, or somebody, whoever is investigating. I'm not talking about Supreme, but incidentally, Supreme Court is also in the game. But whoever is investigating should get to the bottom of it and find the culprits, and they should be given punitive punishment so that it does not happen in future.
That deterrent, very deterrent punishment is necessary for this.
Yeah.
Tomorrow, this is a precedent like this. I mean, every small state, every regional parties will start doing this. Not only to the Prime Minister, even to visiting leaders from other states.
Anyway, nobody is secure now.
Yeah, nobody is secure.
Nobody is secure.
And this sort of, local police are all being used as their private armies by most regional leaders. That's a problem.
Yeah, and one could see these television clips of policemen having chai with the protesters. What is happening? Prime Minister is coming through this road. This road has to be clear. It has to be sanitized from all sides. And then the BJP supporters also over there.
Yeah, that is also another thing. Yeah, they were very near, close by, quite proximity. Yeah.
So there are allegations and counter allegations. Political parties will take their own advantage of talking of various things, like there were only 500 people were there.
That
Even
is
7,000.
immaterial. That's not the point. The point was the road was blockaded. That's it. Tractors, 20 tractors were there apparently. How did they come around there? Yeah.
There were people who knew that Prime Minister was going,
That
and they were allowed to block the road.
That's
That is the point which has to be
I'm
made.
sure the police could have cleared it if they wanted it. Anyway,
So let's see how well they are taken care of, or the investigation is taken care of.
I have a feeling there could be arrests. Yeah, there could be arrests by the Ministry of Home Affairs.
Yeah, the investigating team also should have. Earlier they had only Punjab police. Now they have taken. They've been.
Yeah. Can the Central Ministry of Home Affairs take punitive action against local police officers?
The action, I'm not clear about the chain of command, but the action would also always be judicial, number one, as far as we say the criminal act. As far as departmental action is concerned, the DG police ultimately is an IPS officer.
IPS. They can take action on him.
All the person who would be in the direct line of command, whether they are in IPS, SPG, or in Punjab police, the DGP, ADGP, SSP, they would all be by and large IPS officers. So they'll be taken care by the Home Ministry anyway.
So they can take action there at that
level. Of course, definitely. That's what I'm saying. That once, and then there's a criminal. There can be a criminality act.
Yeah.
Well, criminality act is added to it. Then whatever court decides, that will be taken.
It will be a judicial process then. Yeah.
Yeah, because suspension can be done immediately by the Punjab government, and the suspension, I would say, would have to be done by the Punjab government. But other punitive action would have to be done by the Home Ministry in consultation with the Punjab government. Like in Delhi, the state police is also under central government. So
is it okay? Will the local police also come under central government?
Delhi is a different situation. Delhi was a union territory, now is a state, but it continues because Delhi is the capital of India, and there are so many diplomatic. So this has been a problem right from Sheila Dixit days, when the chief minister has been saying that my police force does not listen to me, he listens to. You heard all those discussions.
So the Delhi police does not come under Kejriwal. No, it is.
No, that is his biggest problem.
That is the biggest problem. Yeah, he doesn't know what to do there. Yeah. All union territories are the same thing. It comes under the federal.
Yes. But Delhi, once it becomes a state, then they want their own police. But then, because of the federal government's position and the embassies and all, it is still under the.
Right.
Because that becomes a very important part of the function of the capital police force.
Many things are getting interesting now. I think it's all being sort of directed now to because of the UP elections are coming up. So I think more such incidents, more
Punjab.
Punjab.
For BJP.
Yeah.
So that is a problem over there.
Yeah.
And within Congress also there is a problem between Amarinder Singh and Channi.
Yeah, that's another problem.
Also, so there is a whole. And the biggest gainer in this would be the AAP.
Kejriwal will be the gainer. Yeah.
AAP would, I'm sure, will gain from all this skullduggery, as they call it.
And they already started stirring the pot because I think Raghav Chadha, some other leaders are already there in Punjab.
Yeah. And Kejriwal is looking at Punjab as his first step in
national politics. To become the Prime Minister. That's his dream, who knows?
Well, this is election time, and the COVID is also not helping. And elections during COVID period is also not helping. And all these things, the security lapses, this is all stirring the muddy waters more and more. And here the Chief Minister should be welcoming the Prime Minister because he is offering so much of so many crores of developmental projects.
Yeah, that's true.
Channi says that somebody in his office had COVID positive, so
That's
he
right.
couldn't go and. But he was happily meeting the journalists and his other officials. Of course, that excuse I will take, because if you have COVID and you want to have, if you are not in a, don't go to receive the Prime Minister, it's a I would say a legitimate excuse, because I don't want to be responsible if tomorrow Prime Minister has a infection.
What about now coming to foreign policy? I mean, now Chinese foreign minister is visiting Comoros, Maldives, and Sri Lanka. I think they
Yeah.
want to consolidate some positions there, no? Because Sri Lanka has already cancelled some of the contracts. They're giving a big Trincomalee oil tank contract to India. So
Yeah, you see, the Chinese, they have that policy of that golden string of pearls situation. They want to have the whole Indian Ocean fill up with their bases. So Chinese have started very aggressively.
Now especially
Cultivating Africa, they have already cultivated, and these different islands, they have already put on bases right up to Somalia. And Latin America, they've got lots of funds which they distribute freely, and therefore these countries follow that.
Money, and then
also follow recently because of some confusion of that port also, and Sri Lanka were not happy. So Sri Lanka also knows the game. They know that these guys want us. So
they're playing a game there, yeah.
Because Chinese are now very aggressively looking at world leadership.
Yeah.
They want to replace USA, and therefore there will be a sort of a very aggressive stance taken by the Chinese to prop up their position in the entire world. And that is again the issue with India also, because the major adversary in the continent is India. So they have, unless they show themselves superior to India, their situation is a bit weak. So we are likely to see a very aggressive policy.
I think we can also counter it, isn't it?
Effectively countered by others also, like the what you call that military arrangement between the three countries
and Quad and
all these things. So it is being responded also in an equal tenor by the Americans and other parties like Australia and England, to at least contain China in their, because they're getting into the waters, the Chinese Sea.
Yeah, that's part of India's backyard, isn't it?
So the sea power has to be seen, has to be controlled at this moment.
But now I think the Indian Navy is growing very fast anyway, with a lot of ships and submarines.
So, yeah, but Indian Navy is not immediately threatened by the Chinese, and the Chinese are not encroaching on the Indian waters.
Yeah, not yet, brother.
Not yet. So the Chinese are encroaching into the Taiwan and North Korea and all that South China Sea, and they sort of are aggressive in that area. So what is the alliances with the Western powers are having is to control that area, the sea adventure.
And I was reading the news yesterday saying India is now, I think, going to give BrahMos missiles to Vietnam and Philippines. So that will aggravate the Chinese further. Anti-ship missiles. So I think, and if Vietnam gets it, I'm sure they will use it against the Chinese.
It's a cat and mouse game, and now that we are having at least under Modi's regime, there has been an attempt to get a national stature as a defense power, and a person and a country which is capable of exporting some defense equipment to countries who need that level of defense equipment.
Right.
For more sophisticated equipment, we are importing from Israel. But there are certain things that we have started manufacturing, and we are capable to export, and wherever we get a market, we are selling it. Now, if it affects the Chinese, fine. They may be concerned, but then
China is supplying all sorts of weapons to Pakistan anyway. So
of course.
But is BrahMos, I think that can be a changer. I mean, because that's what the Indian military strategists think, isn't it? If Philippines and Vietnam are armed with these missiles, then I think China will be a little wary taking on them in the sea, in the oceans.
I don't see China taking on Philippines and Vietnam. Well, it will be a very long drawn strategy.
Yeah.
And it will be something which they have to think about, because they are not their immediate threat.
They don't want to fight. They don't want.
They are not competition. So they are neither a threat nor a competition. So why? They may even make noise when we are exporting
Right.
to them, but I don't see that they will be much concerned that Vietnamese or they will attack them or counterattack, because China, I don't think, is going to attack them. China has much to do with us in both the fronts, and Taiwan and Japan on and these are too far. Yeah.
In India, I think they want to dominate the Indian Ocean and the Himalayan region, because then that establishes their supremacy. That's what they want.
They want to become a world power, the number one.
And maybe India is standing there as a barrier.
Then they have to show their power, at least in the neighborhood. And the neighborhood is India and the Indian Ocean. So that is the whole game.
They're doing. Anyway, I think, and now, of course, India is now battling Omicron also. So cases are going up.
The entire world is battling. And this is something which we know that it will grow like this. But it will come down also. Now we have to be prepared that we have facilities to meet the medical requirements at the peak. That is the whole game. That is the whole game. First of all, to see that the vertical, it is at the minimum. When you have to keep it at the minimum, it will go up, but how low we can keep it, that is the point. And secondly, at that point, we are able to meet all the medical and the support system working efficiently so that people are taken care of. As it is, Omicron is not a very infectious,
virulent,
deadly virus. It infects everybody. It's a very fast virus.
Yeah.
But it does not.
Mortality rate is very low. Mortality rate is low.
But then hospitalization starts because so many people are getting ill. So that sort of precaution is being taken so that so many people don't get sick. And of course, the other advantage is that now people are vaccinated also. So again, the impact of the vaccines is much less than what impact of my virus is less than what it was in the.
Thank you, Praveen. I think that was an interesting discussion for today, and I think we should meet next Friday. Either in our studio or here or on Zoom.
Once everything is sanitized and we are safe to.
That's true. Then we'll do that.
One doesn't want to get stuck at home anyway.
I know. Thank you, Praveen. That was interesting. Anyway, we had this was part of our VNN discussion series, and we will connect again next week. Thank you.
Thank you, Bala.